What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Unhinged Diaries podcast. It's been so long since I've done a video version for you guys because if you have been keeping up with me, you would know that I decided to stick to audio only because I was just trying to balance way too many things. And I really just wanted this episode to be a video version because if you listen to the first part, because this is going to be a two-part series on just seduction and being magnetic. The first part was how to be magnetic, and this part's going to be how to be seductive. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to have a topic like that and not like have you guys visually see what I'm talking about, whereas just listening to me. So I appreciate everyone who's been just keeping up with me listening to the audio versions. But today I have a physical version for you guys. So you get to look at me again. I missed you guys so much. I definitely want to do more video versions. I'm just so busy. I'm balancing so much. But it's like I'm really trying to learn how to prioritize what's so much more important to like put my energy in rather than like trying to tackle so much. So with all that being said, y'all already know the drill and how I like to go about my podcast episodes. I'm going to talk about one positive thing that happened to me this week and one negative. So we could start with the positive. Today, I got a new phone and you're probably like, where the fuck is your microphone, bitch? Because I always had some sort of microphone, whether it was my struggling, trenches microphone, or if it was like my Samsung little cute little microphone. But I got a new phone today and it is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And now since they had the USB-C fucking bullshit, I'm just like, yo, like, how am I gonna fucking plug in my microphone now? It's so annoying. I literally bought this little fucking bitch and it's like everything I plug in, it's like, oh, accessory, like not available or whatever. Like, it's just some bullshit. I'm like, yo, this was expensive. When I tell you the day I had today. Like, it's so cool that I got a phone now, like a newer phone, because my other phone was pissing me off. Like, I had no sort of storage. I couldn't even update my phone because I didn't have enough storage. I couldn't even continue doing video versions for you guys, even if I don't want to, because I'm not going to edit this shit. So I'm like, a part of me is like, I wanted to continue doing video versions and just not edit it. But I'm like, dude, I don't even have storage in my phone. And then my phone was just glitching all the time. I feel like maybe it could be because of the fact that like I didn't have storage, or it was just so old. I had the 12 Pro. Like, it was just time to let her go. And it was just so frustrating, like, that phone. But I'm happy that I got this phone now because there's so many cool features. It's nice, it's bigger, but it's just like pissing me off with the USB-C bullshit. Why? What was the reason? Like, I don't get it. It's pissing me off. But I'm gonna adapt. And I bought a better piece. I bought one that actually comes with the USB little like split whatever, so I could try plugging in my microphone and hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I am going to become violent. I will become violent. So I'll keep you guys up to date. Obviously, if you watch my next episode, because I'm gonna try to make it a video version and you see me back with the microphone, we're back to regular programming. If not, I will become violent and lose my mind. Yeah. That's the day I had today. I literally am running on little to no sleep. I'm exhausted. I have work tonight. So I am going to suffer and die on the inside. And it's just not going to be a good time. But I look good. I look really, really good. And I got this outfit from Shein. It's like Shein Sexy. And it's giving like early 2000s. If you noticed my tattoo, I feel like mentally I'm in the early 2000s still. So I don't know. Like, I like my style to resemble that. Obviously my hair to resemble it. Makeup is like, I wouldn't say. I don't know. I'm living for it. I don't know. Like, when it comes to like my aesthetic, it changes so often. Like, I've been alt for like a while now, and I still will feel like always like I'll identify as that. But like, I don't know. The early 2000s, like, I never got to like experience all of that, like dressing like all that, because bitch, I was like 7. I was like little, like I was a little girl. But yeah, that's kind of like my vibe today. Bad thing that happened to me this week, bitch, I was just like sad, like really sad, and I just decided to stop being sad. Let me stop. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that fucking easy. It's just been so frustrating. Like, I don't know. I feel like I definitely lack a lot of discipline, And it's just like I lack a lot of consistency. Like I feel like I haven't been consistent enough when it comes to my podcast. I feel like I haven't been consistent enough when it comes to my TikTok, like the things that bring me so much joy. And I think that's the one thing I beat myself up about, because it's like working overnights is not for the weak. It is very tough. And it's like I try to show myself grace in the fact that it's like, Ali, you're doing so much. Like you need to learn how to like manage what's important and what to give your energy to. Hence why when it came to my podcast, it's like, I love this podcast. I do. TikTok pays me though. So it's like, should I focus on that to grow my podcast? Hence why I've been like wanting to do the like, the audio only. So it's like, dang. I don't know. It's just been really, really frustrating. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like I find so much joy doing my podcast episodes. Like even when I just get one comment of someone saying they like my energy or they liked the episode, that brought me so much joy compared to like, well, with TikTok. Like TikTok is nice, trust me. I am thankful for that platform and I really hope that it doesn't go away. I make money on there, like it's nice, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I could be my authentic self on here. Like TikTok is fun in a way, it's so quick and whatever, but I feel like when you're like listening or watching my podcast, you get to see me. Whereas if you're just like watching a quick video, like a quick TikTok of mine, you don't really get to see me like that, I don't know. But yeah, because you could say that was a bad thing that happened to me this week was I had just been really slacking. Like I would just sleep so much. I wasn't really like on my A game, but like the positive thing that happened to me this week is me finally getting back on track. Like today, I just wanted to lay in bed, but I'm literally just putting my phone across the room. So when my alarm goes off, I'm like, you have no choice but to get up and you're staying up, bitch, whether you like it or not. Like you're going to stay up. Like today was so brutal, like waking up, but I'm like, I have to get a lot done. Like my sister, she's like, I asked her to come with me to T-Mobile so I can get a new phone. So I'm like, I have to be up at this time. Like there's no answer and buts, what's, whatever about it. But when it comes to like my goals, I think that's another thing too that I had to hold myself accountable for when it comes to why I've been lacking so much discipline is the fact that like, I feel like I made my life too easy. Where I'm not even centered now that I'm thinking about it. I really feel like I made it too easy for me to slack. Cause like there was a point in time where I was working overnights and I was working another job. And it's like when you live your life according to like I have to do this or whatever buts whatever the fuck the saying is, it's like you're gonna do it. But for me, it's like I would be like, I'm obviously making my priority that I have to go to work. So it's like, if I sleep the entire day, it's like I made my life so easy where it's like, oh, I could just sleep the entire day, look at my little fucking whiteboard and see all the things I have to get done and just stare at it, turn over and go to sleep. Like I made it too easy. Like I haven't committed enough into like everything where it's like, bitch, you have to get up regardless of how you feel. Like do what makes you happy. Do you think everyone shows up every day happy, wanting to do what they need to do? No. So it's like I feel like I need to start setting more what's the word, a time frame of when I need to get shit done. Like I said, I don't have no time frame, so it makes it too easy for me to slack. Where I'm like, okay, if I want to post this little video, it needs to be done by today. And it's like that, and it like creates more pressure and more discipline to get it done, regardless of what I have scheduled that day, So I think that's what I need to start doing, is setting more time frames, setting more little small goals. Like this is the amount of followers I want to reach, or this is the amount of engagement I want to reach. Like I need to start setting more goals for myself because I have like not done that in a long time. And that could be the reason why. Like, I think you guys like remember when I was like, I want to reach 100 subscribers on this podcast channel. And the moment I reached it, I really started slacking. I'm like, bitch, how dare you? How dare you do that? Like what? Like, because then that's me being so attached to my goals. Like once I reach, it's like, okay, I got it, toodaloo. And it's like, no, bitch, no. Like, no, start striving for more, be inspired for more, not like attached and needing more, but like, being inspired. So yeah, that's literally been my life right now. Dating life has been caca poo poo. Like I'm just not interested in anyone. there's just so much to catch you guys up on, but I really want to like focus on today's like video topic because there's just so much to talk about. But like in regards to my dating life, like the guy that I was hooking up with, like the last guy I hooked up with, I told you guys about him. Like he stayed over or whatever. If he's watching this, I'm so sorry. But it's just like, I don't know. Like I'm just not emotionally, I don't want to say I am not emotionally available, but it's like, I don't know. No one piques my interest. That's what I'm saying. If he's seeing this and he's hurt, I'm sorry. But no one's piquing my interest at all. But a part of me is like, maybe I just need to focus more on like my passion. Like, I don't know. I really want to connect with someone who really got this shit together, who really stimulates my mind and makes me feel like I could be my complete authentic self. I used to think it was like love, and it was like, oh my god, when a guy gave me butterflies and extreme like whatever, that's love. It's like, no, like I really do feel like love is when like I could be like my true authentic self. I could be as weird as I want to be, and I feel comfortable and safe, you know. And I meet people like that, but it's like there's so much that goes along with dating. It's like, yeah, you can make me feel comfortable, but it's like, are we compatible? Do we have the same values, the same goals? Are you working towards something? Because that's what completely unattracts me to someone, is when you're not working towards something. And it's like, how can I even relate to you, you know? And I feel like, of course, a lot of people my age are not really working towards anything. They're just like escapism because it's their 20s. It's your 20s. And I get it. When it's your 20s, it's like, trust me, I love to engage into some escapism. I love going clubbing. I love drinking. But it's like, my goals still matter. Because when I'm 30, I want to be like in my like, okay, I can chill. Because even though I got to enjoy my 20s, I also was like taking steps towards making sure when I reach my 30s, I don't have to hustle as hard. I don't have to catch up. Like, can you imagine like spending, like wasting the whole entire, like your whole 20s, and then when you're 30s, you're like, dang, now I gotta catch up for time being missed, where it's like you still could have enjoyed your 20s. So just take little tiny little steps into like preparing your 30s, where it's like, okay, I don't have to work as hard, I don't have to sacrifice as much or be killing myself as much, you know. I don't know, that's a random rant. How did we end up here? Because it's like, now I have to shift into today's podcast episode topic, and it's like, let's talk about seduction. But yes, as you can see from today's title, we will be talking about how to be seductive. And I don't know, like I've been like having a lot of Marilyn Monroe like videos pop up on my For You page, and it like really inspired this topic. So I was like, wow, like I used to be such an insecure person, and then now it's like kind of crazy because everyone's like, oh my god, like you have like intense seductive energy, and it's like, And then when I started watching a lot of Marilyn Monroe videos and like her mindset, how she became like this icon, it's like, wow, like I took a lot from it and I could relate a lot to it. So it's like, we should create a whole conversation in regards to it, because people, I feel like, have this misconception where you have to be this bombshell, you have to be so attractive to be seductive, and that's just so not the case. Like, this is this is gonna be the funniest thing I feel like I could ever say, but like, have you ever been seduced by someone ugly? Like, you've been finessed by someone ugly? It's possible. Like, it's so possible to be finessed by someone ugly. It's so fucking possible. So like, come on, there's hope for you. If you feel like you're ugly, or not like society's version of attractive, there's hope for you, because I've even been finessed by ugly men, okay? So we're gonna talk about how to do so regardless of how you look, and it's even like you get bonus points when you're hot too. That's like, for me, I get bonus points. But let's really talk about it. So if you listen to my previous podcast episode where I talked about how to be magnetic, a lot of it starts from the inner work that you have to do. So definitely listen to that episode, then come back here, because you definitely need to like do that inner work first. Because if you do all of this, people are going to realize that it's an act. Like, you ever meet someone and you can like, they act like so confident and so full of themselves, but you're like, in reality, you're like, you're literally insecure. Like, the perfect definition, like the perfect example is like a pygmy. Like, they act like, oh my god, I'm all this, I'm all that, but in reality, they're really insecure and they're like seeking validation. So it's like, you definitely need to do that inner work first, because that's exactly what I did. Like, when I was younger and I was just like, oh my God, like I literally thought that like a guy liking me was a privilege, because I was like, I'm so like not all that, like I'm not like society's version of attractive at the, you know, at the time. But I was like, I'm not society's version of attractive, like I'm not like Albert Einstein. Like I literally had all these insecurities, that's all I focused on. So it's like, if you focus on these qualities that you don't possess, or the qualities you're insecure of, imagine when it's like you're in the public and you're around people, because then you're gonna walk into a room and think, oh my God, like everyone's staring at me, they probably think that I look weird, they probably think I'm like a weirdo walking by myself. Like you start to like have all these thoughts, so then your body language is gonna literally match what you're thinking, and then like you're just like you're gonna literally match it. People are gonna think this bitch is weird as fuck because she's walking weird, she's looking weird, she's like, you know, fucking chewing on her hair. And in actuality, it's like it all started with your thoughts, you know. Hence why, and I don't want this to be so spiritual woo-woo, because it's like I want people that are not spiritual to also like be able to like digest all of this. But it's like it really does play such a huge role. Like your perception of yourself plays a huge role on like you being magnetic to begin with. Like I said, you come into a room and you think that you're fucking weird, you think you're ugly, you think you built like a fucking refrigerator. You're gonna walk in there, your body language is literally gonna match that. You know, the way that you speak to people, you're gonna be so like stuttery and anxious, and it's like people are gonna just think you're fucking weird, but they're thinking that you're weird because of the way that you're acting. It's not even because of this like this belief that you created in your head. Because even if you're like, oh, I'm plus size, like, yeah, someone could look at you and think you know, you're whatever, like you're not skinny. But it's like at the end of the day, if you're confident and you're walking into a room, people could think, oh, she's plus size, but she's a beautiful ass plus size woman, you know? Because it's like, it's all about your body language, the way that you present yourself, the way that you view yourself. It's all an inner work that you have to do first before you can even start applying what I'm going to tell you today. So definitely watch that previous, you know, episode, or listen to that previous episode, because it's like such an inner thing that you have to go through first. Because I used to think that. I used to think, oh my God, if I had all the money in the world, you know when they say like you're not ugly, you're just broke. So I'm like, bitch, I just need money, then I'll be hot and whatever. It's like, no, you can literally be so attractive. Like you ever meet someone that's so attractive and they just don't know it? It's like they had the weirdest imposter syndrome. That could be you. Like you need to do that inner work first. So some tips on how to be seductive. I wrote a list, but I wrote it when I was high. So I'm like looking back at it now and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be very spooky. But tip number 1 on when it comes to like seduction, 80% of people walk into a room and they instantly feel insecure and feel like people are judging them. So when you walk into a room, it's funny because like I said, I've been digesting so much Marilyn Monroe content where like she always says when she walks into a room, she scans the whole room, and like she has her like, you know, chest up, like shoulders back, like she's walking with confidence. Like she even has an iconic walk that like people like literally idolize the fuck out of. Like when I tell you she is the queen of seduction, it's so true. And I made this rule because I started testing this theory when I started watching her videos, because I'm like, oh my God. One thing I noticed is when I walk into a room, my first instinct is to look down because I feel really awkward like walking into a room, and you know when people immediately look at you, like you hate that feeling, right? We all can relate to that. Like when you walk into a classroom, like anywhere, and you have immediate eyes on you, like you instantly feel like, whoa, pressure. And for me, I feel like because growing up, I had some sort of trauma where like I would be like the constant new girl in school. I was always transferring schools. Like I always walked in, eyes are immediately on me. People already picking me apart and like trying to like I don't know, like people started forming their own opinions without even really knowing me. And that could be traumatizing. So I feel like whenever I walk into a room, I had a habit of like immediately looking down. So when I started watching Marilyn Monroe's videos, like all these like TikToks that came about like how she was so confident, because she wasn't always like that too, believe it or not. Like she was very insecure. She had a really hard upbringing. So when I'm telling you, this can apply to anyone. But she like when I like started applying this theory, I was like, okay, whenever I go to the gym, I'm gonna literally, no matter how much of a habit it's become where I look down, I'm gonna keep my like eyes up. When I walk in, I'm just gonna have my, you know, shoulders back, chest up, and I'm gonna be looking straight or just like scanning the room. Because think about it, like, you ever, like, I was thinking about it when I was high as fuck, like, writing this or whatever, but, like, when you ever see, like, really attractive people in a movie, and they do, like, that slow montage, are they going, like, looking down, walking, like, in slow motion? No. Like, they're scanning, like, hair flip, like, confident. They're confident. So it's like, I made this rule for myself where when I walk into a room, like, I'm gonna fucking scan the room, and I'm gonna have my chest, you know, chest up, shoulders back, and I'm not gonna look down. You don't know how hard that was, but when I started doing that, I'll notice people will look at me, and I got a couple smiles, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, like, I'm not used to it or whatever. And another thing too is, like I said, this could be tough for a lot of people, because what I'm saying to someone, if I'm like, oh, like, you need to walk into a room and not be able to look down, there's gonna be, like I said, if you built such a habit of being, like, having all these negative thoughts flood to your head, that's where law of assumption comes in. Where it's like, when you walk into a room, just assume that that your presence, it's so, like, it's such a blessing for it to be in a room. Like, you need to, like, sit there and be a little delulu, like, literally be a little delulu, and be like, I'm walking into this room and everyone wants to look at me. Like, everyone wants to talk to me. Like, I am literally, like, the life of the party. Like, the party don't start to walk in. Like, literally be delulu. And I've always had the mindset. So, like I said, if you don't have the mindset, like, then, like, definitely start being a little delusional, because I get it. Like, there's times where, like, I was growing up and I was so insecure. I'm like, how the fuck can someone walk into a room and not feel weird when there's eyes on them, you know? And for me, now I'm slowly starting to get comfortable with that. Like, I would just use law of assumption. I keep burping. I'm so sorry. But I would use law of assumption when I'm walking into a room where I'm like, okay, I'm so good to look at. So, like, when I'm walking into a room, like, of course people are gonna look at me because they're gonna think this bitch looks good. And then I would just sit there and be like, wow, like, people are gonna want to talk to me. People are gonna want to smile or say hi, because, like, I am worthy of being spoken to. Like, I have value. Like, be a little delusional. Like, don't be too fucking cocky where you feel like you're better than everybody. Don't do that. But, like, you know, start putting yourself on a pedestal. Like, I feel like in life we put, like, either it's a man or a girl, like, someone you're interested in, on a pedestal. Why not do that to yourself? Can we normalize that? Like, I don't know. So yeah. And now another tip for seduction is maintaining eye contact. And that, oh my God, when I started finding out about the triangle method, which Marilyn Monroe always did, even if you look at her movies, like, she was a part of, she always did the triangle method, which is, like, you're looking at their eyes, and then you're looking at their lips, and then you're looking, I'm so fucking confused. I'm sorry. I do not want to edit this shit. So you're looking at both eyes, then mouth, then back to the eyes, I'm assuming. Like, you're going like that. Yeah, you're looking at both their eyes, I think. I could Google this, but, like, I don't want to edit this shit. So, bitch, just search out the triangle method, okay? But, like, you're just looking at them, and then you're looking at their mouth, and you're looking back up. Like, it's like you're doing it in a triangle way. And that's one thing I noticed. Like, I started testing that on people, where I'll give them eye contact, and then I'll look at their lips, and I'll go back to their eyes. And you can tell they get a little nervous. And, like, it's like, because you ever have such an intense moment when you're, like, physically attracted to someone, and they're looking at your lips, and you're just like, oh, you get hot, you know? So, like, it's like, don't just do it on anybody. Like, don't be fucking weird. But it's like, I'm telling you, when you want to seduce someone, like, you actually want it to work in that favor. Like, I promise you, it's such a, like, intense tip. And I started using that on this one guy that, like, I find attractive. And I don't know, like, it was intense. Like, I'm telling you, like, that shit fucking works. It's just, don't be fucking weird and start doing that shit to people. Like, don't do that to your fucking boss or some shit, you know? Like, do it to someone you want to seduce, or, like, you want them to, like, feel intimidated by you. Then do that. Another thing too that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough when it comes to seduction is ask questions about whoever you're talking to. Like, that makes you more likable. Like, when you're talking to someone, like, we love to talk about ourselves. Bitch, I love to talk about myself. So when you're talking to someone, like, make them feel interesting. Like, make them feel like everything that's coming out of their mouth is interesting. And don't be fucking narcissistic where it's like, okay, bitch, I think you're the most boring person in the world. Like, I'm just gonna sit there and toot your horn. Like, no, like, actually be interested. Like, ask them things that you would find interesting, so you can actually have that genuine connection, so it could feel authentic, while also it's like just be interested. Like for me, it's always been something that I possess as a quality. It's not something like I'm trying to seduce or anything. Like it's just a quality that I possessed where I genuinely like asking questions to people because I am interested. Like I genuinely have this weird thing where when I meet people, I want to know them to the fullest capacity. So because of that, I ask so many questions. Sometimes that shit bites me in the ass because it could be very seductive because people would feel so seen by you. Like there'd be people that feel like I'm flirting with them. They'll be like, oh my gosh, she must like me or she must be interested in me. Where I'm like, dude, I just genuinely like asking questions to people because I genuinely love learning people to the fullest extent. So like I said, that shit is really a seductive tip because sometimes it will bite me in the ass. Like I'm like genuinely just trying to learn more about this person like innocently, and they'll be thinking I'm flirting with them or interested in them. And I'm like, no, baby, sorry. Like I'm just really, really intrigued on knowing you, like knowing what makes you you, like what makes you happy, what makes you sad, why do you like this, why don't you like this. Like I'm just that person. Hence why I always wanted to start a podcast. I always wanted to interview people because I genuinely am interested. Like I'm not doing it for any sort of gain, but just like to help someone feel seen and also learning about them. Like I think it's like a really cool and beautiful thing in life is just learning people because everyone's different and special in their own way, you know. But yeah, ask more questions and help someone, like make someone feel very interesting. Like have you ever had a conversation with someone and they asked so many questions about you and you just felt so like, oh, like they made me feel like so heard and so seen. Like that's so hot. That's so hot. So physical touch, like that plays into like if you're trying to seduce someone, like you have your eyes on someone, you have a target, like when you touch their shoulder. Or for me, like sometimes like if I'm really trying to seduce someone, I'll touch their hair, like that's when like you have to be confident when you do it. Just don't be fucking weird. Don't be weird with him. Men to the women, don't be fucking weird with it. And women, don't be overly like stepping boundaries because men deserve to be respected in that way too, you know. But yeah, like you can do like something lightly, like obviously feel the vibe where you know it's okay to do so. Like don't just assume that you could just touch someone, because for me, I don't like when someone touches me unless there's like a vibe established where I feel comfortable and safe around you. But if I literally just met a guy at a bar and he just started touching me, I'm swinging. I'm swinging. Like I don't like my bubble to be invaded unless I want you to invade it, you know. But yeah, so next, be sassy, be playful. I've been doing this a lot at work because I like to like play around with people. One, I tend, in a lot of my friend groups, I tend to be the butt of the joke because I can't take a joke and I can also throw a joke. And I just try not to take things personally. Of course, sometimes it happens where someone makes a joke and I'm like, that fucking hurt. Ouch. I want to cry. The cancer in me wants to cry. But then there'll be moments where I'm like, okay. Like one, I can't attach myself to, even if that's someone throwing shade and they have a negative opinion about me, how I feel about myself will always matter. And then two, like, take a joke, bitch. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, unless someone's actually, like, flat out disrespecting you, okay. Like, put your foot down. But then for me, it's like, I don't know. But, like, long story short, when it comes to like my coworkers, like I tend to be very, very like sassy and playful, and like men love that. Like that's like a really like cool way to flirt. Like when you're being really playful and you can like, you know, roast each other. Like, you know, have you ever had that relationship with a person where you can like roast each other and that's like so fun? Like it just like it's such a cool vibe when you could just roast each other. And then you start creating inside jokes because of the way you guys are roasting each other. And it's like such a like fun way to like connect with someone. It's being able to like be playful and be silly. Because, you know, someone that's uptight, it's not seductive. It's just not. So the fact that you could be like laid back and you can like, you know, be a little sassy or be like, oh, like, I don't know, like just be playful. Like, you know, throw little jokes here and there and try to find their like language of like how they can be playful, because some people can't be uptight but they can also have a play. Everyone has a playful side of them, bitch. We were all kids. Like we all have an inner child where we could still like, there's always going to be a part of us that's always playful. Hence why sometimes we fall in love with someone where they bring out that like really, really like childlike version of us out, you know, where you could be playful, you could like literally be kids and be like tickling each other and like, you know, a vibe. So it's like, be playful, like don't be so uptight. And I know that could be hard because bitch, I had my moments of being uptight. Once upon a time, I feel like in high school I was really uptight. Like I wasn't as silly as I am now. Like now I'm in a silly goofy mood, but like back then I was very uptight, and that's not seductive. It's not. Like I said, you can literally be as hot as possible, but like if you don't have that vibe of like being, you know, eye contact, because that eye contact represents confidence. If you could look someone in the eye and like be comfortable like maintaining eye contact when you guys speak, like it's attractive. If you can, you know, you can like, you know, physical touch, you know, being playful, because then it's like they're like, wow, like she's fun, because then they're gonna feel like you're fun, you know. So there's that. This one's a big one, and it's treat them normal. Don't put them on a pedestal. And if you don't put them on a pedestal and like you keep pulling back, like you like, you know, you step in but pull back, step in but pull back, like, you know, you step in but you're detached. Like, I don't want to say fucking start manipulating them. You could, you know, go for it, girl. That could be a whole nother episode, a whole nother day if you want to talk about manipulation, but this is not the video, okay? But like, when I say you're stepping back, you're being detached. Like, you're not like, you're like, okay, I'm stepping back because I'm okay. Like, I'm okay either way, and I'm just enjoying myself. Like, I'm cool. Because when you do that, men start to feel like they lost you. So when they feel like they like failed at, like, they feel like they failed at attracting you, so they're gonna try harder, you know? Like, that's why there's that saying of like, why is it that like when I'm not interested in this person, when I really, really wanted them, but then when I started like pulling back and really just started like accepting that they didn't want me, whatever, they started wanting you more. Because then they start to feel like, damn, I just had her. What did I, like, they start to really question themselves. Like, what did I do? Like, what is it about me that made them stop trying? So that's when they start to try. That's why it's always good to be detached. Not that it's like a game of a manipulation. It's the sense of you just knowing your worth, of like, okay, because I feel like I see a lot of comments when it comes to this topic. So I search up a lot of videos in regards to this topic so I can have like my own standpoint and have my own commentary. But I feel like a lot of comments I see where people's like, I'm so tired of like dating in this generation because it's just literally games. It's not though. Like, it's really not. Like, a lot of it could be games. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not. Trust me, I'm fed up just as much as you. But I think the issue at hand is that people feel like it's a game because you have to pull back. That's giving like anxious attachment where you like you're struggling to pull back. Why are you struggling to pull back? You know, trust me, I am a fucking disorganized attachment where I'm like attached and avoidant. And when I'm attached, that shit's a bitch. That shit is a bitch. Oh my god. Literally, you feel like you're like fiending over drugs when it's literally a person. It's annoying as fuck. But I also have the avoidance side, so I can understand both standpoints. But when it comes to like being overly attached, it's like, it's not a game. Like, if you have that anxious part of you, you need to heal that. Like, I hate that saying where they're like, oh, you need to find someone that accepts you. It would never be healthy. You would never get what you deserve having that anxious attachment. And it all comes from trauma. It all comes from shit that we fucking didn't deserve to go through. But you have to face that. Because then when you face that and you become more secure, then you're going to sit there and realize like, oh, when you're not even necessarily pulling back, it's you just chilling and be like, okay, I like you. Like, I really want to pursue you, but also like, I know my worth. I'm not going to invest too much into a man because why? Bitch, like, why? Like, of course, don't fucking be all cold. Like, you could be cold. Like I said, we could make an episode on manipulation, but that's not today's episode. But it's like, when you're standing back because you're just not gonna, you're not desperate. Like, you are not desperate. You're gonna think it's a privilege to talk to me. Like, I'm cool. I'm worthy. So if you don't want me or you're being weird, I'm cool either way. Like, that's what it means to being able to step back. I feel like people see it as you had to act cold or whatever. No, you don't have to act. Like, just be like so content with yourself that it's like, okay, I really like you, but I don't give a shit. Like, I literally was okay until I met you. So, like, I am not going to put you on a pedestal. Like, you don't amplify my life. You might feel like that because of, like, all these emotions and shit like that, but I promise you they don't. I promise you, you lived a whole life before you even knew that person. You're fine. You're fine. And these other, like I said, I was writing this shit when I was high, but the speak softly, talk slowly is fucking annoying because, bitch, I'm loud and I talk fast. I have a stutter and I have hearing problems, so I can't hear how loud I can be. You can still, like, of course, like, when I am flirting with someone, I do tend to talk low and slower. Like, I have like a certain tone when I'm flirting and I'm like looking someone in the eye and I'm like, you know, twirling my hair and shit. Like, you can like when you're really trying to seduce someone, sure. But like, I don't know. I still feel like when you're yourself as well, like for me, like I'm loud and I talk fast, but I feel like it's also attractive of the fact that I just accept, like I'm authentic and I have like I have that confidence to accept the fact that that's just the qualities that I possess. Like, you know, like it's also attractive when you're authentic. Like for me, there's times I try changing myself. I'm like, I need to talk really slow and like whisper, not be loud. Bitch, I can't. Like I'm loud and I fucking talk fast because I have a stutter. So like, I feel like it's also attractive when you're authentic, where it's like, okay, this is literally me. I love who I am. And I pull both genders regardless of how loud and how fast I talk. So yeah, you could just like, if you struggle with that as well, I'm trying to give you hope and trying to like, you know, try to give you that reassurance that bitch, you're not alone. You can still pull people, okay? So I didn't agree with that. I don't know why I wrote that there. I think it's because I wanted to just trauma dump on you guys and just rant about the fact that I think it's unfair. Like, bitch, I just talk too fast, okay? And I'm loud. So there's that. Have a problem and give them a little task. That's one thing I noticed too. Like when I really like someone, like I try it at work sometimes where this is one guy I think that has a crush on me. I'll be like, oh my god, can you go to the vending machine and like get me like a drink or whatever? And you can see them like light up because they're like, oh my god, like I want you. Like it's not like they're trying to earn your validation, but it's like, I don't know. Like when it comes to like a man or someone you're pursuing, like if that's a way to be flirty and seductive, where you're like, oh, like can you do this for me? So then when they accomplish that little task, like you're gonna like express your gratitude and express like, oh my god, thank you so much. Like they're gonna feel better about themselves. I don't fucking know the psychology behind that, but bitch, it's fucking it works. Okay, it definitely works. I do that all the time. When I really like someone, I'll be like, oh my god, I dropped my pen. Or oh my god, like can you please like get this for me? Can you do this for me? I abuse the fuck out of that at work. I work around all guys, so it literally like works in my favor. I'll be like, can you go to the vending machine? Or oh my god, like I like the parking lot where I park is so far away from where I like had to go in and clock in. So I'll be like, can you please, like I left something in my car, can you please get it for me? And they will, because like they felt so much better when they get it for me. They'll be like, I got it for you. I'm like, thank you so much, I won't forget about it. Like express gratitude to them, you know. And that's another thing that goes along with this is, you know, offer a way to thank them, but then say no to the request, but ask for more info to be persuaded. Like, you know, like you know, when they say what's in it for me, be like, oh, like if you ask them to do something for you, they're like, oh, what's in it for me? Like just say like, oh, like just start being very flirty. Like it's like the chase. Like men love the fucking chase. So if they're like, oh, like for example, I'm trying to think of a really good example. If you're like, oh, can you like, you know, can you wash my car? And they're like, oh, they're like, okay, I'll wash your car for you. And if you're like, oh, thank you so much for washing my car, what can I do to like repay you? And what if they're like, oh, let me take you on a date? Be like, I don't know, like where do you want to go on a date at? Like, you know, keep asking questions so they can like bribe, like they can grab you in. So when you do that, start scheduling a time. Literally all the tips I'm telling you, I saw that off of like sprinkle video, and I really feel like this shit works. Like I definitely done this before. That's why I was like, I need to add this in here because it definitely works. So schedule a time to like speak. Like, okay, you want to schedule a time for me to like return this, like, you know, repay you for the little thing that you did for me. And once you like schedule a time to do that, like, oh, like you wanted to take me out on that dinner, can we do it on Thursday? Like let me text you like on Wednesday night so we could talk about the plans for Thursday. So if they start looking at the time and the clock waiting for you to text them back, bitch, you got them. Like it's like the chase, like it's the dopamine that they get for like, you know, because like I said, there's this big saying, I definitely said it in one of my videos before, something that is valuable is not easily accessed. So if you're just jumping like at someone to go like, you know, do something with them because you really like them, bitch, where's the fun in that? Like make them work for that. And people see that as manipulation when it's really just like you knowing your worth, of like, I know my worth, that it's like me giving you any ounce of my time is like, bitch, like there's value in that. I am valuable, therefore if I give you any sort of my time, bitch, it's like I'm gonna be stingy with it. I'm gonna be stingy with me. Like, be stingier, bitch. Like, I really feel like people like see it as manipulation when it's really not even manipulation. It's you being stingy because you know your worth. And you know that it's like, damn, if I'm sitting my cute ass at a chair at a like fucking restaurant with you, it's like, bitch, there's value in that. There's people that are lined up to want that. Even if you're like someone that doesn't even attract so many people, be delusional, okay? This is when like law of assumption comes in. Be like, okay, like I know my value. I know that I'm funny. I know that I provide really good company. Therefore, I'm gonna be stingy. I'm gonna be stingy with my time. Like, people see this manipulation. It's really just self-confidence and knowing your value, you know? And last but not least, well, two more, and it's be unpredictable. That kind of does go along with, like, manipulation. But being predictable, because like I said, if you're predictable where you're like so accessible, they're like, oh, I know she's gonna text me. I know that, like, if I call her right now, she'll swing by within minutes. Be unpredictable. Like, show interest, but also be like, like, I can show you, like I said, that kind of does go along with manipulation, where it's like, show a lot of interest and be like, like, I told you I'll come over, but something came up. Like, you could bail on them, or you could be like, oh, like, I don't know if I could see you next weekend. Like, I have so many plans, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know. Like, be unpredictable, because he's going to be like, what the fuck? Like, she was just investing all this energy in me, and now she's too busy. What? Like, be unpredictable in that way. And also, say his name a lot. That just goes along with people, period. Like, that goes for, like, people in general. When you want to be seductive and more attractive and magnetic in that way, is always say someone's name when you're talking to them. That's one thing I saw in what's her fucking name? There was some, like, there's a really big podcaster that really does talk a lot about self-development. Like, she does a lot of that sort of content, and she always says it's so important when you're trying to develop people skills, saying someone's name a lot, because it makes them feel good. Like, it's your fucking name. Like, like, for me, I have this weird narcissistic thing where it's like, I love when someone talks shit and says my name, because it's like, my name must have flavor. So it's kind of like in that way where it's like, when you're talking to someone, like, or someone talks to me, they're like, Allie, but Allie this, but Allie that. Like, it just feels good, because it's like, you're feeling so involved in a conversation. It's like confirmation almost, like when they say your name, something really, really attractive about that. And I don't know, like, these things are so important. When you, like I said, if you did all of this without that inner work, without that confidence, you're gonna, like, come across so inauthentic and so unattractive. Hence why I said you need to have that confidence first. Because, like I said, all this, like, all these tips, I've seen so many, like, controversial comments or, like, takes where people are like, oh, I feel like this is all manipulation. There's so many rules when it comes to dating. It's really not that much rules. It's more like you just having such a strong belief within yourself and knowing your value, and just knowing that you should sit there and wait however long you need to when it comes to getting what you deserve. Because if you're settling, you don't know your worth. You don't know your fucking worth. Because if you don't settle and you have such a strong belief system and, like, self-love within yourself, you're gonna be like, I'll wait however long, but why the fuck should I tolerate any less? Like, you should enjoy your own presence and know your value to the fullest capacity, where you're like, I don't need this. Me and myself and I, we're having a good time alone at home, cranking up some movies, lighting up a candle, enjoying my own presence. You don't need to be desperate for someone else's attention, because then you're placing so much value on them. How the fuck is that fair to you? Because then, that's, like, if you really think about it, that's how you get so fucked in the end when it comes to, like, that breakup or things ending. Because then you're gonna feel like you invested so much because you put them on the pedestal. You saw so much value in them. Whereas when you saw so much value in yourself, when you put yourself on a pedestal, you're gonna be like, I don't want to tolerate you. You're not giving. It's not giving at all. But yeah, I think that wraps up today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys learned something from it. I feel like this, I don't know, the fucking perfectionist in me is coming out right now. Cause I'm like, this episode, I feel like it wasn't as good as my fucking audio. My audio for the part 1, I feel like really just, I nailed it. And here, I feel like I'm dying and holding on by a thread. And I feel like I could have done better. But I feel like these tips are still so valuable. So I really hope that it resonates with someone. Like, it really, really are good tips. But you had to do that inner work first. And I really hope this opens someone's eyes, at least, to really trying to invest more in themselves and trying to take the time to really, truly see the value that they possess. Because once you see the value you truly possess, it's such a game changer. And it's like, you will go about dating in such a different way. You will go through such a grieving process when you realize, like, dating is so fucked nowadays. Because a lot of people don't know their value. A lot of people don't know their worth. That's why everyone's settling. That's why everyone's going through a great, like, escapism, hookup culture. Like, that's why it's so bad. I was like, for me, I had to go through that grief of, like, I don't want to settle. I don't want to go through this BS anymore. It's so crap. It's like the fucking streets are ass. It's not fun. It's not fun. It really fucking sucks. But it's also so rewarding knowing that like I'm not settling, because when you do settle and just give in, it's like you don't know your value and you realize that shit hurts you way more than you being alone and not accepting less, you know. But yeah, that's everything. I love you guys so much. If you are listening to this on Spotify, make sure to give it a 5 stars rating, because I know you could take at least something from this episode. And if you're watching this, you're watching me on the podcast channel, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, or something I may have missed in regards to the conversation of seduction. And make sure to subscribe, because I definitely want to start trying to push out as much video episodes as much as possible. I'll try. I really need to try. I need to start creating more deadlines and just getting back on my Zoom. But I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.